Okay, guys, so I have come to a point when I need a new altar candle and a new home altar candle. Um, I have multiple altars in my home. I think I've discussed that with a few of you before. But anyway, um, I thought that it would be a fun learning experience if I showed you what I did in order to put my little altar candles together. I just used the dollar store white candles. You can't beat $1 for a candle that you can literally do whatever you want to with. These have been sitting in the sun, so they are a little sun damaged on the top. Some of the wax has melted a little bit from the heat that we've been experiencing the last little while, but that's okay. What I like to start with is I take my candle and this is a skewer for a kebab. These are perfect. So what I do is I actually drive them all the way down inside, and I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of at an angle. That's fine. The point is to get a hole that goes all the way down to the bottom. Let's see if I can give you a little bit better example. All the way down and back up again. So see, that travels all the way down to the bottom. And the reason that I do this is because I like my oil to get all the way down the length of the candle. It just makes me feel better as a person. So I've done 3. I don't know if you can see that. The number of holes that I make is totally dependent on the vibe that I'm going for, or what my intuition tells me I need to do. So sometimes I'll do just 3, sometimes I'll do all the way up to 7. If you're going to do more than 3, I would suggest you kind of dot them to plan them out so that they're equally spaced. Unless your brain is not like that. Mine is. If things are not equally spaced, at least for the point of entry, then my brain is like, no thank you, ma'am. So now that that's all done and you've gotten wax all over yourself, make sure to take your paper towel, which I have one of, luckily, and clean that off, because that is something that you can keep reusing. We try to be conscientious of waste as far as our craft is concerned. I will reuse these when I have the opportunity. If you are planning on reusing candle holders, you're going to want to remove any residual candle or spell workings that is within the glass itself. Lots of people will do a double broiler to heat the glass up and remove the wax with like a paper towel or something like that, and then they'll wash them really good with soap and water. I would not recommend putting them through the dishwasher if there's still wax in them, just because that can gunk up your plumbing. Okay, so we're making 2 candles today, like I said. The first one is going to be a Hestia candle. This is the Hestia blend that I made for our ritual, our hygiene ritual course that we did. So let's start with this. This is a Hestia oil blend. It's an anointing oil. And what that means is I have put an amalgamation of herbs and oils together in this little jar here, and I have let it ferment, as well as charging either in the sunlight, the moonlight, the candle, with energy. This is charged with sunlight. If you're going to do that with any kind of oil, you need to make sure that you don't leave it exposed to sunlight for too long, because it can actually make the oil go rancid. And that has not happened here, thank goodness. You will tell, you'll be able to tell by the smell of the oil. So I take a little bit of that oil and just kind of let it soak along the top there. Okay. And then I'm going to do this, get it real good and coated. And then I am going to intentionally let that oil soak down into those holes. Now, while you're doing work like this, you can be offering prayers and intention to the candle itself. I'm going to do that after I'm done with all of the recording and everything, just because it's a little bit more personal process. you are setting your intention with the herbal blend that you've made as well as the oil, and you're combining them into this larger thing. So take your time, enjoy the process. Do like I've done right now, where I've waited until anybody that was in my home other than me is gone and my animals are settled, because there's nothing worse than being neck deep in your work and having someone come knocking on your door. If you run out of oil, so like this is just about done. It's always good to have consecrating oil on standby. This is a blend that I make every 6 months, I think. I keep it in a cool, dark place, out of direct sunlight. And this is already charged with my intention of amplifying and purifying whatever it is that I am putting this on. So there just wasn't quite enough of the Hestia oil to soak down into the holes the way that I wanted to, so I just added a little bit extra of this. Perfect. This is just a personal preference. You do not have to do it this way. This is just how I have been doing it, and I like the way that I feel when these candles are lit and I'm doing work. So Miss Hestia is nearly done. Make sure you wipe off your little spoons or whatever you're using to transfer oil from one place to the next, because once it gets on something, it's on everything. These are super cute little measuring spoons. It's like a tad and a pinch and a dash, those kinds of things. I thought that was adorable and definitely within the witchy aesthetic and vibe that I go for on a daily basis here. So to top it all off, I'm going to add just a little bit of my raw herbal blend for Hestia to the top. And when I put it on my altar, I will blend some of that herb up into smaller pieces and light a charcoal, and I will anoint the altar with the scent of the herbal blend that is with this candle. That way everything's on the same energetic frequency. Okay, our next one. This one is for my personal altar. This is in my personal space, and so we're going to use our hardcore sanctifying herbal blend with this one. So because I do not have a pre-made anointing oil like with Hestia, what we're going to do is we're going to do it in the moment. We're going to take our spoons and we're going to take our oil that we've already made. And like I said, this doesn't really have any like hardcore herbs already in it. It's just sanctified and purified to amplify whatever work I intend for it. So this will combine with the herbal blend that I have and anoint this candle with the sanctifying properties. Okay, so we're just going to start there for right now. There's, I think, 7 little spoonfuls of oil. Use however much you want, or however little. If you're one of those people that doesn't have a whole lot of stuff and you just need to be sparing with your items, please do. Okay? I talked to you guys about it during the spiritual hygiene course that I was teaching for Gilden, but the Hestia oil especially is just herbs that you have in your kitchen. So like basil and oregano and parsley. Well, they're herbs that you should have in your house anyway. I know that buying dried seasoning is expensive. And so obviously you're not going to use the stuff that you use for cooking to anoint your candles unless that's all you have. In which case a pinch or a dash is perfect, and you should not feel bad that that's all you're able to use. And as with all things, you don't need to make a candle. You don't need to use herbs with your dollar store candle. You don't need to use sunflower oil or jojoba oil or anything. You as a person and your presence and your time is all that you need at the end of the day. But if you want to make these things and you feel that it amplifies the work that you're doing and it makes you feel good, that's when you do those. That's when you do stuff like this, okay? If you ever want to do a project like this and you don't have the herbs that you need, or you're not really sure how to go about it, call me. If I don't have the herbs, I can get them, okay? And if we can't get the herbs, I can give you recommendations for alternatives. So that herbal blend was a little bit thicker. It's got eggshell in it, so it's a little bit harder to get down into the cracks and the crevices the way that I like, which I apologize for that terrible sound that you heard of the squishing. So as you can see, that oil is now all the way down in there, and it's all along here, because what it does is it pushes all the way down to the very bottom, and then with this little guy's force going down, it causes pressure down on the bottom, and it causes the oil to push up into the sides of the candle. So it's my tricky way of anointing all the sides of a candle without having to worry about it being a glass container. Okay, so now that we're all done with that, we're going to clean up our stuff really quick. I'm a big believer that the act of cleaning up is just as worthy of reverence as the creation of the tool itself. So you'll forgive me if I'm a little bit weird about that. Put those away. And then this is about seeing the course of its life. I might be able to press just a little bit more oil out of the herbs that are down on the bottom of that, and I'll do that later on my own time. But that is how you create altar candles, at least the way that I do it. If you have any questions or concerns, message me, and I will be so happy to work with you through any of the questions that you have. Like I said, if you need help creating your own, also message me. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful fast Sunday and be safe, okay? Bye.